This afternoon on the marketplace, household spending set to reach 107.8 billion cedis this year, but high inflation to weigh on real purchasing power of many consumers. We'll hear from a report by Fitch Solutions. Government exceeds Treasury bills target by over 13% to the tune of 2.94 billion cedis, but interest rates continue to surge. Plus, Ghana Revenue Authority warns clearing agents over declaration of false documents to evade custom duties.
We are doing that, and there's a possibility of prosecuting all those involved. And we want to give a warning to everybody that you cannot hide. Whatever happens, it will come out.
We have details of these and many others lined up for you. Please stay. I am Pious, Kojo, Backah. Let's now settle for the details. And household spending is set to reach 107.8 billion cedis this year, higher than the 101.9 billion cedis posted in 2019. According to Fitch Solution's latest report dubbed Ghana Consumer Outlook Spending will expand to 112.1 billion cedis in 2024. Nonetheless, it said a stubbornly high level of inflation and fiscal consolidation policies will weigh on real purchasing power for many consumers in Ghana. Let's now hear the details in this report.
The UK-based firm said interest rate hikes are pushing up household debt repayment costs. The depreciating cedi is making consumer goods imports more expensive. It argued that the high levels of inflation, slower economic growth, rising levels of dissatisfaction with government policy, and interest rate hikes are all contributing to a downbeat Ghanaian consumer. The report furthered that inflationary pressures remain elevated in many markets. While the rate of price changes are slowing, they remain higher than central banks' targets and higher than what consumers have grown accustomed to, especially over the past decade. Fitch Solutions stressed that the impact will not be spread evenly across the different consumer spending segments, with the prices of some components such as rent, services, and some food items remaining stickier and elevated over half year 2023. It continued that if nominal wages cannot keep up with these high rates of inflation, consumers will continue to see erosions in their purchasing power.
Moving on to some other stories, government exceeded its Treasury bills target by over 13% to the tune of 2.94 billion cedis, but interest rates continued to surge disturbingly. According to the latest auction by the Bank of Ghana, interest rates reached almost 32%. There's more in this report.
The target for this auction was 2.60 billion cedis, but a bid tendered were 2.94 billion cedis. About 2.90 billion cedis were accepted. Majority of the bids came from the 91-day bill, in which about 2.206 billion cedis were tendered. However, the government accepted 2.202 billion cedis. For the 182-day bill, a little above 322 million cedis were offered, but the government accepted 289.19 million cedis. With regards to the one-year bill, all the bids worth 415.78 million cedis tendered were accepted. Meanwhile, the interest rate on the 3-month bill jumped to 27.78% from 27.36% the previous week. That of the 6-month bill went up by 0.40%. The 364-day yield also set to 31.97% from the past week's 31.65%.
All right, so let's engage Head of Trading at Republic Securities, Patrick Agama, on this. Patrick, pleasure you could join me on the marketplace. Government exceeded its Treasury bills target by over 13%. However, interest rates continued to surge. Why is that so?
Well, good afternoon. We are seeing that there is interest mounting heavily on the money market. We can see that because inflation is also rising, investors are showing interest, and there is increased confidence in the market because these treasury bills are being paid week by week. We are expecting the government to show more interest in collecting, like what we are going to have this week. They will be collecting about 3.7 billion, which is one of the highest we are going to see. And with this one, they are actually going to accept a lot of bids that will come onto the auction.
And while longer on the interest rates, what could be the impact on loan recovery if this trend continues?
Well, a lot of securities or loans are benchmarked to this interest rate. So it is a great concern for banks seeing this interest rate rise week. But I'm sure the government is going to find a way to control this interest rate in the weeks coming.
And let's stay on that. In your view, what could be done to control the high interest rates we are recording, despite government exceeding its target, exceeding its T-bills target?
Well, we've seen it in the past where they will come to the auction with some agreed rates and expect banks to also lower the auction. So far as their appetite is high, it will be hard for them to do that. But if government can be able to find other sources of income and be able to discuss with investors, come to the market expecting investors to reduce the rate, that can help in this situation.
And let's talk about the rate itself. How significant is this 13% oversubscription, which of course translated to about some 2.94 billion cedis?
Well, it's not so significant because the target was around 2.6 billion. The right test will be when the target is above 3 billion, like what we are going to see this week. If it still gets oversubscribed whilst the target is around 3 billion, then we can see how desperate government is to get the money, or how the confidence of investors are in this particular treasury bill.
Patrick, it's the beginning of a new week. What are we to expect in the capital market when it comes to trading?
There's a lot happening already. Today, we've seen about 4 price movements when it comes to the stock market. We have Benzo Oil Palm, GCB, Societe, and Famok trading higher than what they closed last week. We expect interest to mount again on these stocks. Last week, we saw MTN dominating both trade volumes and values. We are expecting that to happen this same week because there's a heavy offer on the market for MTN against fewer bids.
All right. Thank you very much, Patrick Agama, speaking to us on the back of developments in relation to the capital market. Let's shift focus now and touch on the story. The Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority is warning clearing agents at the ports to desist from the use of false documents with the aim of helping importers to evade custom duty at the ports. Now, the warning follows an intelligence in February on some 2 companies and importers that had falsified trade documents on their bills of lading in the clearing goods from the ports. Commissioner for Customs Alhaji Idrissa warns that persons involved in such practices should be made to face the law. Here's more.
The practice by some shipping agents and local shipping lines have denied the state of huge sums of revenue. According to the Commissioner of Customs, Alhaji Idrissa, some agents processes customs declarations with inaccurate particulars with the aim of paying lower customs duty and taxes. He warns that the division is on high alert to apprehend all culprits.
We are currently investigating both the shipping lines, and the agents and importers to find out the degree of collaboration or connivance that took place. Because if at least one, in some instances we saw an agent putting the writing and deceiving the importer plus the government, it means that there is some collaboration between those agents and the shipping line who have admitted that they have done that. We are equally expanding the investigation to cover 6 years earlier, because we have realized that, and other companies, because it may not be the only companies who are doing that. and there's a possibility of prosecuting all those involved. And we want to give a warning to everybody that you cannot hide. Whatever happens, it will come out.
The commissioner has also hinted investigations are being expanded to fish out all who may be part of such syndicates for the necessary sanctions to be applied.
We were going down. Our system have information on all those, all the declarations that we are suspecting, and we are continuing with it. So we are looking out for more, and we are also proceeding to deal with writing demand or write demand notices to those who are owing, and also look at the criminal aspect and prosecute those who are involved.
The division has begun the process to prosecute the importers of goods that have been apprehended at the Tema port.
Now, the UK-Ghana Chamber of Commerce will, in the next 2 months, launch its 2023 Business Climate Survey to gauge the sentiments of its members with regard to the Ghana business environment. According to its Executive Director, Ajoba Chiama, members of the Chamber will continue to support the economy in various ways, including job creation and payment of taxes. There is more in this report.
The UK-Ghana Chamber of Commerce operates on 3 platforms of networking, advocacy, and trade services. Speaking to Joy Business on the sidelines of a golf tournament in partnership with GCB Bank, its Executive Director Ajoba Chiama said members of the Chamber will deepen its relationship with the government.
We will continue to support and grow anything that relates to growing business between the UK and Ghana, and so anything that celebrates our member businesses, anything that helps them to grow, anything that helps grow the economy of Ghana, we are very happy to support. We are very satisfied. We work very closely with the government. We've just finished collecting data for our 2023 Business Climate Survey, and we're in the process of analyzing the data. So hopefully within the next 2 months, we'll be launching the report, and that will tell you what the sentiments of our member companies are with regards to the business environment.
Deputy Managing Director in charge of operations at GCB Bank, Emmanuel Odate Lamte, for his part, said its outfit has not been impacted much by the domestic debt exchange program. He mentioned that GCB Bank is a solid brand that will continue to deliver results for customers and its shareholders.
It hasn't impacted our profits or our numbers or our business at all in any way. GCB is a solid bank. We have a proven track record. Over the past 7 decades, we have supported elevate Ghanaian households from poverty. We provide banking services through our 186 branch network, complemented by our digital channels. And of course, for our SME businesses and our corporate clients, we have been serving them with various loan facilities, cash management facilities, their FX needs. And I must say that what differentiates GCB Bank is the personal touch. When you interact with us, the experience you get is what really sets us apart from the competition.
And to some other stories, players in the insurance sector in West Africa are confident that developing a common West African financial framework will deepen insurance coverage in the sub-region. The Director of Financial Integration of the West African Monetary Institute, Suleimani Tall, explained that harmonizing standards in the sub-region will increase insurance coverage across borders. Here's more.
The Sixth College of Insurance Supervisors of the West African Monetary Zone is a platform to harmonize and improve insurance practices across the West African region. The Sixth College will seek to adopt Memorandum of Understanding between the various countries with a key focus on the Francophone bloc. The move is part of efforts to ensure the smooth transition into the use of a single currency by 2027. Director of Financial Integration of the West African Monetary Institute, WAMI, Suleiman Tal, explains the need to ensure a synchronized system to boost penetration.
The penetration is still low, but it's not. I think you can do both. It's possible to do both, in country-wise and external, and also to open up the insurance sector. We can do both. But what is more important is really because we are going to have a single monetary zone, single currency, and then we need to harmonize everything, the rules. The rules need to be harmonized, so at least when you're in Nigeria, you're in Ghana, you're in Guinea, you know everything is the same. Now, for the development side, it's open. To me, it's really the operators. They know exactly where to go. We, as a regulator, the supervisor, and the state, we need to make sure that we have the appropriate environment for them to grow.
On the need to boost inter-African trade, Suleiman Tor reiterated the importance of insurance in facilitating the African Continental Free Trade Agreement.
The insurance sector's place in this free trade agreement is very important, because when you talk about trade, when you are sending your goods from one country to another, you need insurance. When you are traveling from one country to another, you need insurance. Everywhere you are engaging in trade or exchange, any type, you need insurance. So,
Acting Commissioner for the Ghana Insurance Commission, Kofi Andor, stated that the West African integration would foster knowledge sharing amongst member states to boost the growth of the sector.
This is an opportunity for the various regulators to learn from each other. Some are advanced, some are behind, some have challenges. It is a platform to learn from each other and to find better ways of doing it, of promoting penetration in our various countries. You know, Ghana is not going to Sierra Leone to go and promote penetration. This is to learn from each other and to find better ways of doing it in our various countries. So I think that it is the other way around. This will rather help us to all find better ways of promoting penetration in our various countries.
The college, which comprises 6 West African nations, hopes to fully integrate Francophone countries to ensure a smooth rollout across the bloc.
You're still watching The Marketplace here with me, Pious, Kojo, Backah. To some agri-related stories, some cocoa farmers in the Ashanti region are convinced that the new producer price of cocoa will discourage smuggling of the commodity to neighboring countries and exchange of arable farmlands for illegal mining. President Akufo-Addo over the weekend announced a new upward adjustment for the cash crop from 800 to 1,308 cedis per bag. Now, the price increase is the highest witnessed across West Africa in the last 15 years. Emmanuel Bright Kweku has more.
For many years, cocoa farming communities on Ghana's fringes are reportedly known to smuggle cocoa beans to neighboring countries, mainly Ivory Coast and Togo. A perennial problem that has cost the country large quantities of cocoa beans for exports. Ghana's recent economic meltdown, coupled with the craze to excavate gold by artisanal miners, have also contributed significantly to the loss of arable cocoa farmlands. Reports suggest that in the 2022-2023 crop year alone, Ghana lost 1,150,000 metric tons of beans to smuggling and illegal mining. Speaking at the opening of the 2023-2024 cocoa season, Food and Agric Minister Brian Champon bemoaned the activities of smugglers.
There have been several reports of smuggling of cocoa from Ghana to our neighboring countries, and this has contributed adversely to the country's production capacity. The sad part of this unfortunate situation is that the individuals who are engaged in this nefarious act of smuggling are neither the farmers nor cocoa board who have contributed to the production of the cocoa, but rather private merchants who regrettably contribute absolutely nothing to the country's production capacity.
A primary reason fueling the seemingly unending act was the huge cost differential between the countries. In tackling the menace, the Ghanaian and Ivorian governments adopted and implemented the living income differential to cushion farmers against low international market price. President Akufo-Addo says the scheme has increased the average income of farmers.
One of the first decisions that I took as President of the Republic was to sign a strategic partnership agreement with the great President of the Republic of Cote d'Ivoire, His Excellency Alassane Ouattara, which united the cocoa sectors of the two nations and helped us tackle common challenges in the industry. This cooperation has already yielded good results for the industry as we've been able to adopt and implement the living income differential, LID. The LID has increased the average farmer's income by $700 per ton.
Under the theme Securing Decent Incomes for Cocoa Farmers, the opening of the new crop season saw the government announce a historic 63.5% upward adjustment on the price of cocoa. A bag of cocoa would now go for 1,308 cedis, while a ton sells at 20,948 cedis. For a number of farmers, the new price would improve their livelihoods as it discourages smuggling and exchange of farmlands for illegal mining. The price was initially good in Cote d'Ivoire, but I doubt any farmer would smuggle cocoa to the country given the new price adjustment.
From now onwards, the pruning, the hand pollination, all the agronomic practices, we are going to make sure that it is being done well so that the production will be increased.
The government, meanwhile, says it remains committed to eliminating cocoa smuggling. Brian Champon again.
I only have one assurance to give to the nation. I will not disappoint Ghanaians in our quest to stop smuggling. Where I am from, we will say, Afi, cocoa smuggling, Yebehe.
For Joy News, my name is Emmanuel Bright Kweku.
While longer in the region, and the Etriman Kwamina Rural Bank in the Ashanti region is working at introducing online lending facilities to ease the difficulty in accessing loans for business purposes. Chief Executive Officer Samuel Bonsu-Setre says investments are being made to strengthen the bank's cyberspace to ensure maximum protection of clients. Nanaya Ojima has the rest of the story.
At the end of the 2021 financial year, loans and advances of Agama Rural Bank grew from 39.1 million cedis to 44.6 million cedis. Profit margins grew to 7 million cedis in the year under review, a rise from 5.9 million cedis posted in 2020. In ensuring convenience of customers in accessing services, the bank is promoting the use of its mobile application. CEO Samuel Bonsu-Setre says the necessary processes are in place to introduce soft loans on mobile application services.
You agree with me that there are mobile vendors even behind our bedroom window, and so the convenience is maximum. And that is why we have introduced this mobile app, and we will deepen the outreach of the mobile app, and we are introducing other products which will allow you to even take a soft loan with your mobile app.
Cyber attacks have become the biggest threat to digitalization in various sectors of the economy, including banking. Mr. Seche says measures are in place to ensure customer safety on the digital platforms.
And Agama Rural Bank has its own software. We have a dedicated data center from where we operate our systems, and we have made sure that we have put in place all the cyber security requirements of the Bank of Ghana, so you can be rest assured that when you use our digital channels, you will be well protected.
Meanwhile, the Agama Rural Bank has launched its 40th anniversary. Various activities are in place to ensure customer satisfaction from now till December 2023. For Joy News, Nanaya Ojima reporting.
Now, as part of measures to mitigate the impacts of climate change on human health, the Coastal Community Resilience to Climate and Diarrhea Project is poised to build resilience and improve diarrheal management in coastal communities. Now, the project under the Institute for Environmental and Sanitation Studies at the University of Ghana is a 5-year transdisciplinary research aimed at generating knowledge on climate change. According to research fellow at the Nguchi Memorial Institute, Professor George Ama, this is key to improve knowledge on community-based diarrheal management and response to climate hazards. He spoke to Joy Business at a biennial steering committee meeting.
The Coastal Community Resilience to Climate and Diarrhea project aims to generate long-term data series to model the interactions between climatic, hydrological, environmental, institutional and social-cultural determinants of diarrhea. Professor Amma said this will aid in assessing climatic and non-climatic determinant of diarrheal disease in coastal communities in Ghana and understand how they impact on diarrheal transmission.
Diarrhea is one of the major challenges in our communities, in our countries. It affects both children and also affects adults. The different pathways in which people come down with diarrhea, different pathogens that also involve diarrhea. And so what we're trying to do is to understand these pathways, but then using the population for that. Why do you need a coastal population? Because these are the people who are being really affected with the climate change that is going on, right? And understanding the pathway will help us to put in intervention programs that will help in ameliorating this issue of diarrhea disease in the communities.
Project co-lead Dr. Peter Sorensen explained the rationale behind the collaboration, indicating that it aids in understanding the transmission pathways of diarrhea in coastal communities.
I am collaborating with the University of Ghana because they are very high-skilled researchers actually, so we can make a kind of equal collaboration. It is very inspiring to have a project and then come here and then participate in the discussions and be close to the fieldwork that is undergoing here. And also the intercultural aspects is because researchers are cross-cultural. On the other hand, there are some cultural issues when you are coming from Scandinavian and then collaborate with the institute here. So it's very inspiring.
The study will focus on communities found along the eastern and central coastline of the country, which are the most vulnerable to sea level rise and flooding incidents.
And that's how we part company here on the marketplace. But before we go, let's dash to the My Joy Online portal, where we've got great stories for you. /business T-bills auction, government achieves 13.21% over subscription. Interest rates reached nearly 32%. Great stories on that portal for you. Just get yourself some stories to read. See you same time tomorrow. I am Pious Kojo Backah. Bye.